Holy shit. He said what?
Many people doubt Meghan has long been a mother. Following her attendance at Northwestern University, Meghan began dating Joe Giuliano. And the couple got married after having a child when Meghan was almost 20.
What?
Joshua Silverstein was her very first boyfriend. They were both only 13.
According to reports, Noelle was born in or around 1999, which fits the timeline perfectly.
It's really quite sad.
You know, I think as she told it, she approached me.
But apparently for me, that doesn't matter.
Given her appearance, Noelle does share some similarities with Joe and Meghan, and she's even more like Meghan.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
Picture this. You spend years branding yourself as the rebellious princess of the royal family, the one who shook the palace walls, the woman who dared to challenge centuries of tradition. You're out there giving interviews, documentaries, and books, playing the role of the silenced duchess who finally found her voice. And then, bam! Out of nowhere, the internet explodes with whispers that maybe, just maybe, Meghan Markle wasn't just hiding skeletons in her closet. She might have been hiding a whole daughter for 30 years. 30 years. That's not just messy, that's nuclear-level gossip. It's like the royal soap opera nobody asked for, but everyone can't stop watching. Imagine the shockwaves. A hidden daughter would mean Meghan's past isn't just complicated, it's a scandal factory on steroids. And poor Prince Harry, allegedly blindsided. People are saying he had no idea this ghost from Meghan's past might exist. Can you even imagine? The betrayal, the drama, the weight. What did I marry into? Moment.
Meghan was researching the prince online and found out that the prince is now duped, so I can now go ahead and marry him. At that stage, Meghan contacted Joe, told him that, look, if you open your mouth, I'm gonna sue you.
Because let's be honest, Meghan doesn't just have skeletons. According to these rumors, her closet is practically a maternity ward. While she's out here crying on TV about being silenced, people are side-eyeing like, girl, where was your voice when you were allegedly signing annulment papers in Vegas? The irony is so thick you could cut it with a butter knife. If Meghan's life were a Netflix show, the tagline would be, new season, same lies, different prince. Every single year, it's another leak, another scandal, another jaw-dropping revelation that makes Buckingham Palace look tame compared to Meghan's backstory. But this time, it's not about tiaras or titles. It's about a child, a whole human being that, if the whispers are true, wasn't supposed to exist in the world Meghan built for herself.
I remember when she was born, big new addition to the family, and we just have a very young sister here.
Thomas Jr. was 14 when Meghan came into the world.
So here's where the fairy tale cracks wide open. Meghan's official story goes like this. After high school in 1994, she supposedly took a wholesome gap year. You know the drill, soul-searching, backpacking through Europe, sipping lattes in Paris, journaling on a mountain in Greece. Cute, right? Except there's a giant gaping hole. No photos, no plane tickets, no friends talking about wild adventures abroad, nothing. Just Meghan's word. And let's be real, by now Meghan's word carries about as much weight as a knockoff designer bag at a Vegas pawn shop. The rumor mill, however, tells a juicier story. Instead of traipsing across Europe with a backpack, Meghan was allegedly strapping on a wedding dress. Yes, in Las Vegas, to none other than Joe Giuliano, her teenage sweetheart. Suddenly, that vague gap year looks a whole lot less like finding herself and a whole lot more like covering her tracks. And here's the kicker. Just 9 months later, whispers started flying about a baby girl, a daughter, and allegedly Prince Harry had absolutely no idea. The thought alone, Harry thinking he was her big love story, only to find out there might have been a secret family chapter before him, is enough to make your jaw hit the floor.
Very clear to me at the time that, we were together, I would say. Yeah, she very clear idea of where she wanted her path to take her.
Instead of Instagram-worthy travel memories, Meghan's so-called gap year was, according to whispers, all about vows and veils. A bargain bin Vegas wedding. Imagine it. Courthouse aisle, 2 family witnesses, quick, I do, and done. Not exactly Windsor Castle material, but hey, Meghan has always been a pro at trading up. And then, poof, it's over almost as quickly as it began. Months later, an annulment gets filed. But here's where it starts smelling suspicious. Those records, completely sealed. In Vegas, of all places. We're talking about a city where you can dig up Elvis-themed divorces from the 70s, where nothing stays buried. Yet somehow, Meghan's teenage marriage papers are locked away like they're protecting nuclear codes. Why? What was so scandalous that officials decided to slam the vault shut on her teenage love life? And the whispers don't stop at young wedding. Oh no, they hint at a pregnancy. a baby bump. By mid-1995, Meghan allegedly gave birth to a daughter. Not some cute story about gelato in Italy, not vague talk about finding herself, an actual child. And the jaw-dropper? That little girl was supposedly handed over to the Giuliano family, raised quietly, no paperwork, no adoption trail, just wiped off Meghan's personal story like she never existed. At this point, Meghan's gap year is starting to sound less like soul-searching and more like full-blown damage control. She didn't just take a gap year. If the rumors are true, she took a gap child.
At the time, that we were together, it's what kids did, right? So she told her friends she liked me, I told my friends I liked her, and then our friends met, and then they kind of arranged it, and then we became girlfriend and boyfriend.
Now let's zoom in on Las Vegas, the city of neon lights and bad decisions. This isn't just a place for slot machines and Elvis impersonators. It's the place where secrets get immortalized. And guess who, according to whispers, walked down a cheap courthouse aisle with Joe Giuliano? Yep, Meghan Markle. Teenage Meghan, dressed not in royal gowns, but in a bargain bin wedding dress. No castles, no tiaras. Just two family witnesses, a courthouse, and vows exchanged faster than a free hotel drink voucher disappears. But just as quickly as it began, the marriage ended. Months later, annulment papers were filed. And here's where it goes from messy to downright suspicious. Those annulment records? Sealed. Locked away tighter than Buckingham Palace during a scandal. In Vegas, the very city where you can pull up dirt on washed-up rock stars and Elvis-themed weddings without even trying. But Meghan's paperwork? Off limits, like state secrets. That screams one thing. There was something explosive in there. Something Meghan never wanted the world to see. And the whispers keep circling back to the same theory. A baby. While Meghan was supposedly living her best gap year fantasy, insiders say she was actually hiding a pregnancy. By mid-1995, the story goes, Meghan gave birth to a daughter. Not a rumor about pasta in Italy. Not a vague memory about soul-searching. A child. Flesh and blood. And instead of stepping into motherhood, she allegedly passed the baby off to the Giuliano family, like dropping off dry cleaning. No adoption records, no announcements, just silence. Erased from Meghan's personal history like she never even existed.
And right now we're in Beverly Hills, and we're gonna pass the Beverly Hilton Hotel, where I'll be on Sunday meeting the other North.
And doesn't that fit Meghan's pattern to a T? Reinvent, erase, repackage. One day she's a Hollywood extra, the next she's a duchess. One day there's a teenage husband and maybe a baby, the next it's scrubbed from the record. If the whispers are true, that baby girl was raised in silence by the Giuliano family while Meghan headed off to Northwestern University, rebranding herself as a bright, picture-perfect starlet with no baggage. But baggage has a way of catching up. You can only bury secrets for so long, and if the whispers are true, that daughter, she just turned 30. 30 years of silence. 30 years of pretending she never existed. The Giulianos, by all accounts, were traditional, old-school, family-first people. They valued loyalty, stability, and roots. Meghan, on the other hand, valued escape routes. Allegedly, a deal was struck. The Giulianos would raise the child, and Meghan would vanish into her shiny new life. No legal trail, no adoption papers. Just a silent handoff, like a business transaction nobody wanted to admit ever happened. And if you think about it, it's the most Meghan move ever. Every chapter of her life is marked by disappearing acts. Friends vanish. Family gets cut off. Relationships end like scorched earth. Why would motherhood be any different? If a child threatened her dream of acting and social climbing, she'd treat it like she treated everyone else who got in her way. Delete, block, erase.
Meghan, she loved me. I'm a hero. And suddenly I was thrown out.
Meanwhile, the Giulianos were left holding the reality Meghan didn't want. They raised that little girl quietly, hidden from the public eye, while Meghan strutted into college like her slate was sparkling clean. But here's the reality. Secrets never stay buried forever, especially not secrets this big. That sealed annulment? Suspicious doesn't even begin to cover it. In Vegas, you can look up anyone's messy past. But Meghan's teenage marriage paperwork? Locked away, sealed like it's guarding state secrets. Courts don't just do that for fun. They only slam the door shut when there's something explosive inside, something that could blow apart the fairy tale Duchess image she later sold to the world. And the whispers all point to the same possibility. It wasn't just a teenage marriage, it wasn't just an annulment, it was a marriage followed by a pregnancy followed by a baby.
Wiped out all kind of pictures, communications with Joe.
By the time Meghan Markle strolled onto Northwestern's campus, you'd think she had fallen straight from the sky with no past, no baggage, nothing but ambition and a polished smile. It wasn't reinvention, it was like she had entered witness protection without the government paperwork. Suddenly, the girl with whispers of a Vegas marriage and a baby bump had morphed into a wide-eyed freshman chasing Hollywood dreams. No teenage wedding, no annulment sealed tighter than a royal vault, no child hidden away. Just Meghan, the self-made starlet, serving her new image to professors, classmates, and casting directors like it was the only truth. And the wild part? People bought it. They swallowed the reinvention whole, never asking what it cost her to scrub her past so squeaky clean. But let's be real, Meghan didn't just distance herself from the Giuliano family, she erased them. Poof, gone, like cutting out a scene from a movie that didn't fit the script. She showed up selling this illusion of a globe-trotting, free-spirited traveler, when in reality, her so-called gap year was drowning in red flags. And here's the thing about secrets, they always leak. They don't vanish. They drip out slowly like a faucet you can't quite tighten. Friends of the Giuliano family, they couldn't stay quiet forever. Over the years, little hints began bubbling up, vague, cautious whispers, but always circling the same storyline. Meghan's past wasn't as spotless as she desperately wanted the world to believe. And what's even messier, these weren't just random rumors from random people. Too many whispers from different directions started sounding the same, different sources, same story, teenage wedding, hidden baby, sealed annulment. That's not coincidence, that's a pattern. Meghan can ghost people, she can cut off family, bulldoze anyone who doesn't fit the image she's curating, but she can't rewrite the memories of others. Those whispers floated around, following her like shadows. And the higher she climbed, Hollywood, the royal family, the global spotlight, the louder those whispers became. Every time Meghan gave another glossy interview about her truth, people leaned in harder. They weren't just curious about her carefully scripted story, they were desperate for the story she never talked about. And now, that story has teeth. Because if the rumors are true, the daughter Meghan allegedly left behind isn't a secret anymore. She's 30 years old, a grown woman with her own voice, with her own story to tell. And nothing, not Meghan's PR team, not the palace, not even sealed Vegas court records, can stop her if she decides to step into the spotlight. One headline, one interview, one DNA test. That's all it would take to flip Meghan's carefully polished victim of the monarchy narrative into something much darker, a tale of lies, ambition, and abandonment. Imagine the irony. Meghan built an empire on her own version of events. She cried on primetime TV, claimed the palace silenced her, positioned herself as the world's most famous truth teller. But what happens if the person she allegedly silenced first, her own daughter, finally decides she's done being invisible? That's not just a scandal, that's demolition. For 30 years, Meghan has allegedly kept this chapter padlocked, betting on silence, sealed records, and time. But time doesn't stay quiet. Children grow up, secrets grow claws, and if this daughter ever speaks, it won't just bruise Meghan's image. It could obliterate the very foundation of the royal rebel brand she's been clinging to like a lifeline. And here's the twist. Meghan won't get to control that script.